You're listening to Tour Tech, your 5 weekly takeaways to tourism success. This series is brought to you by the Digital Tourism Think Tank in partnership with the European project Tourbit, which is co-financed by the European Commission's COSME programme for SMEs. I'm Nick Hall, founder of the Digital Tourism Think Tank, joined by our series co-host Marie Texier, looking after Tourbit for Paris & Co. And each week, we'll be bringing you insightful discussions with tourism SMEs undergoing digital transformation together with the innovative tech partners who are guiding them on that journey. Did you know that according to data from UN Tourism in 2021, the European Union welcomed half of all international visitors? As visitor numbers are expected to rise, how can destinations, and in particular accommodation providers such as campsites, manage the increasing influx that they face during the summer peak season? Today's episode offers insights into how to manage this pressure from an Icelandic campsite that successfully handles thousands of visitors every day during its summer season. Our guests today are Brynjar Ingimarsson, a talented freelance software developer and founder of Reisa, with first-hand experience in campground operations, and Ásgeir Hreidarsson, the proactive manager of Hamrar camping, one of Iceland's largest campsites. With a background in computer science, Ásgeir is passionate about using technology to simplify and enhance the campground management experience, and together, Brynjar and Ásgeir have collaborated to build a customized solution where off-the-shelf solutions simply don't fit.
Today we will discover that field experience is key to understand the pain point of a business. And it's okay if you don't have the right solution right away, because you can always create it. And you will discover that through this discussion.
So I'm really looking forward to hearing how these incredible camping providers seem to develop really interesting solutions working with tech and software developers. So let's have a listen, and we'll be back later for the 5 key takeaways.
So I am Brynjar. I am a software developer, and I am building an online booking solution that they are now using at their campsite. And I actually used to work in a campsite many years ago, so I have seen some of the problems that can be solved with technology.
Hello, my name is Ásgeir. I'm a manager of the campsite here in the North Iceland called Hamrar. We are a very large campsite, can host up to 2,500 people at this one time. And we are most busy during the summer, especially during 6 to 8 weeks. And at that time, we get a lot of visitors coming at the same time. So to have a system that automates and speeds up the process is really very important for us.
So I guess you met each other when, Brynjar, you were working at the camping Hamrar, right?
Yeah, I used to work here many years ago. Then I went into computer science for a decade or so. Then Brynjar was working at the campsite while I was in the computer science business. But then when I came back, I asked him to help me to bring this technology to place. He had started on some of it, but we have been pushing new solutions, yes.
So it was general work, helping customers, and also maintaining the campsite, even mowing the lawns, a bit of everything. I would do some programming, improve the solutions they had just for fun.
That's so nice. So you have a good understanding of what they're doing and what are the challenges. So talking about challenges, can you tell me more, Ásgeir, about the challenges you have and how you are solving them?
Yeah, we've had a pen and paper system for now 20 years, more or less, since we took over the running of the campsite, where each camp guest that arrives has to be registered. So we have to write down a receipt, and then he gets a sticker for his tent. And then if he was buying electricity, there was another sticker, and then there was a gate opening, and there was another paper that had to be written for that. Then this all had to be manually put into a register. And since we were obligated to return reports on how many guests are staying from each country, we were also putting all this into a computer system after. So when on a busy weekend, this could take a lot of time, and the queue of people coming in, most of them coming maybe over a weekend, could be mile long going down the road here, and people were stuck in traffic kind of, and just waiting on slow working things. So yeah, that was kind of the motivation, and to be able to control it better. So yeah, in fact, when I stopped working here in 2008, I went into computer science, and my final project at that time was to build a access controlling system for a campsite. So it was just a school project, but it was built up on my interest of what I had been doing. And then I was very happy that I could reach out to Brynjar and get him to carry on with the work I started many years ago. So and he's really technically thinking also. So it has been a great cooperation.
So you can see that what you have implemented has increased customer satisfaction because you are going faster in the process. Maybe you are doing less mistakes also.
Yeah, it both helps with the customer satisfaction. Now we have added on also online booking, so people can book online before they arrive, and we are working on that. And also, as you say, it eliminates some of the human error that can easily be done when you're calculating prices based on how many tourists are in each unit, how many nights they're staying, if they're having electricity or not, and all this had to be calculated manually. So it took a lot of time, and was very open to mistakes.
Brynjar, can you tell us more about the solution? How does it work in practice? What do you have implemented so far?
So the core of the solution is a booking database, which is only accessible to the campsite operators. And then connected to that, there is an online booking portal where customers can book accommodation in advance. Hamrar also had the requirement of having a point of sale system locally because they also want to sell to customers when they arrive. And they also wanted connections to other infrastructure in their campsite. So, for example, they have a vehicle barrier where guests have to drive through, and we can now control that automatically. So, when they book, they give their license plate, and now the gate opens automatically for those license plates.
And no other tools were existing on the market to help you improving this process?
Well, there probably are some tools available, but they're not taking in consideration all our needs in that sense. And we probably could have done it with a different solution, a couple of them, but with this solution, we are implementing all together and kind of doing the on-site sales and the online sales all together. And then we are open to add-ons in regards of controlling, for example, the access to electricity, up on how it will be paid. So that's hopefully our next focus will be to implement that. So if you order or pay electricity access, then you will get that access during your stay, and it will automatically turn on and automatically turn off when you're not paid for it anymore. Other things like laundry machines and different stuff that we are aiming on in the future to go further with. But so it's a solution that can grow.
So you will automate everything so it can save a lot of time for you so you can dedicate to other tasks, right?
Hopefully, yes, that's the aim.
Do you have any objectives you would like to reach with this tool?
Well, it helped us a lot in regards of controlling who has access and who hasn't. And the solution that has been built together with this is the continuous saying of the barrier gates. So, and he has also built up a way for us to monitor who is going in and how many are in each car, because our campsite is, the pricing is based on per person. So we also have to monitor how many are in each unit that is staying, for how long. So objectives are mainly to automate and simplify the operations and minimize mistakes and get the customer satisfaction more. So people nowadays like to be able to order online and use the online function a lot. So we also have to adapt our business to that model in that regards. We have a very big campsite, so normally we're not reserving special spot for each unit because we 95% of the time we have enough space for everybody. But the demand is coming from the market that they want to be able to reserve a certain spot. So we also have to figure out how are we going both. Brynjar can probably do it technically, but we also have to think about how we solve it outside and in real life and how it suits our business.
And since how long have you been working on this project? Maybe Brynjar, you can tell us.
Well, yeah, so I was working in their campsite maybe 6 or 7 years ago, but then we started again, so taking it all the way, I think 2 years ago. So we slowly started implementing first the vehicle barrier, and then last year they tried the booking solution. So they have been taking online bookings for 1 year, I think, and already seeing some improvements from that.
Talking about improvement, can you share with us any KPI you have monitored since you have implemented this solution?
We have about, I would say, during it's a seasonal business a little bit. So during summer, we get most Icelanders coming for weekends and for the family holidays. And over that period, there is much more demand for the on site solution where people are coming, they're traveling based on the weather. If it's sunny, they're coming. If it's raining, they just go somewhere else. So they don't like to plan a lot ahead. So in that sense, it has saved us a lot of time and money to be able to do all the transaction immediately, and they're all connected to a printer, and the printer takes care of printing out all these forms and stickers and things that they need. So that has really increased. So during the summer, most of our activities goes through that. But during winter, again, like now in the slow season, it's saving us a lot of time having the online solution, which is mostly used now because it's a slow season. We have, I would say, 80% of our bookings are coming online now during the slow season. And that saves us a lot of time coming to the site during the slow season just to have to get hold of those who are staying and getting them to pay for their accommodation. So in that sense, these two parts that are helping us during the summer, it's mostly the having a good on-site sales system, and during winter, it's helped us a lot with time-consuming things, especially having an online booking solution. So it's a divided time saver based on seasons.
So it's useful all year long. And would you be willing to share your solution with other campsites? Because it's so customized and adapted to your camping, but I'm sure it can be useful also for other Icelandic campsites.
Yes, so this started as a custom solution for the Hamrar campsite, but as it's been growing, I think it's possible that there might be more interest in this solution. So I'm optimistic we will go further.
And is it specially adapted for Iceland, or can you also sell it abroad in Europe?
I think many campsites can use this solution, both Icelandic and foreigners. It might have to be adopted a little bit to another market, but that's just an adoption that needs to be taken in that development. So if you're going forward in that sense, he has been making a solution now, which he's been showing me a little bit of how to expand it to the Icelandic market. But with some investigation on a different market, it could be easily adopted to other markets, I think, because in general, it's the same idea. I think so that should be easily done if there is interest.
And does this solution have a name?
Yeah, so we call it Reisa, so reisa.is.
Does it have a meaning, or it's just a name like that?
Reisa, which means travel. It's actually also used in more languages like German, it's Reisen, and Dutch, and all the Scandinavian languages.
So we can at least learn one word from Icelandic, saying Reisa. So everyone who wants to travel, go Reisa, right?
Exactly.
I have a question concerning the technical part. So, if a camping outside of Hamrar want to implement Reisa, is it easy to plug with the other tools like other channel manager, CRM, or internal tools we are already using to manage the camp?
Yeah, so that's one thing I've been looking into. So connecting with channel managers. So if people want to sell also on other booking websites, but it has not been implemented yet. But if there is interest, we could do it.
So it can be a super customized tool with plug and play application for one campsite.
Yes, so it's designed to be very compartmentalized, so you can easily add components or don't use components that you don't need.
And what is the business model of this solution?
I guess we're not that far yet, so we're still experimenting.
Okay, so it's a work in progress. So let's say that for now it's a MVP. You are testing it and seeing if it's working to then sell it at scale once it has done its proof.
Yes, so this is still the early stages.
That's so interesting to know that tools like that can exist because I know that we are struggling to find good developers that can adapt the technological tool to our needs. But now what you are doing, Brynjar, with Camping Hamrar can bring some hope to people that are desperate to find the good tools for their needs.
Yeah,
Do you have any key learnings and best practices you would like to share to the hospitality industry that are listening to us?
Yeah, what we have learned is it takes time to get this right solution, but when you have the needs and you have skilled person who can help you with figuring out the best way to go forward with it, it can take you a long way. And I think we're on a good way. It takes time to test and develop, but to be open to new things and how you work with them is vitally important, I think.
I can maybe add, because when you have many things you want to automate, it can be good to start with just one thing at a time. So at Hamrar, they started with some small updates to their old database and then trying the vehicle barrier, automating that. So now we have been slowly going forward, adding more and more solutions. So don't do everything at the same time. See what works and then continue.
So what you are building is the back-end infrastructure. Also, I don't have the right wording, so please feel free to explain the solution. How does it look for the users?
Yeah, so the core is this backend database, which is accessible in a browser. So it's in the cloud. You have a URL for the backend. You can log in. You see all your bookings and everything that is going on. And then you also have the online booking portal, which can be hosted. For example, for Hamrar, it's booking.hamrar.is, which they advertise. And so customers go there and make their bookings.
And you're also building a joint booking site for which is the Reisa.is, where then other sites can, Hamrar can be there and others. So Hamrar just is one company on that booking. So there's the future, I think, for him.
Yeah, because the system is very modular. You can decide if you want your own standalone booking website. But I'm also working on Reisa.is, which is like an aggregator. So you can have many campsites in the same place, which can simplify things for travelers. They can find all the campsites they want in the same place. And especially for smaller campsites, which might not have their own website, this can be a good option to have an online presence.
Can we say that Reisa, what you are building, is a booking for camping?
Yes, that's the idea.
Okay, so watch out. We will be able to book camping first in Iceland and then let's finger crossed all around Europe on your website.
What is interesting for us as the campsite using the site is also to have not only this booking site, but also to be able to control different things and let it connect to other things at our site that helps us run other things than just the bookings. So with the sales on site, or might it be the electricity in the future or the laundry or whatever. So you're having a good front end for the customer that's coming, And then from there, it helps you in the back end with all the automation and controlling and who is going accessing the barrier gate or going to the showers if that's separately, laundry, whatever. So it opens up a wide range of possibility. It's useful for us as a campsite runner running a campsite.
And how did you do before to manage all of that without being digitalized?
By pen and paper, basically. And a person like the barrier gate, there always had to be somebody at the barrier gate to push a button to open it. But now, when the people come that have paid already, the barrier gate, we have a camera at the barrier gate, and then that reads the license plate number and opens up the gate for the customer. So he might be outside mowing grass or cleaning the toilet or whatever and doesn't have to run to the barrier gate to open it. He can do it from, well, it's done automatically, or even through, if you get a call, you can do it through your phone. So the staff members can open the gate through an app in the phone.
Wow, that seems really the future, that to being able to manage a gate from a phone, but I think it's super realistic now.
It's really easy. And like during the winter, we stayed there with only the kind of phone operation. So I got a call during the night and somebody was at the campsite. I was not outside, didn't have to drive from my home. Takes me 15 minutes to come just to open a gate, which I could do easily with my phone. I just opened the browser and one click and opened the gate.
And all of that is linked on the tool Brynjar is building.
Yeah, it all goes through the same tool.
So can you also manage the coffee machine, for example, when you get to the office and you say, coffee, be ready?
Might be the next step, yeah.
In theory, all things are possible, I would say. It's just, what kind of does the campsite need and what would be the priority that we would like to have. For us, it's getting the control over the electricity would be the next thing that I would aim for. The cuisine would be maybe 3 or 5 steps later on, but that's only because I don't like coffee. So
as you said, so first it was a barrier, then electricity, and do you have other plans with this tool?
like the laundry machines, I'd possibly we are looking into adding some small units to rent out, so access to those kind of doors and those things. The showers are included at our site, but that might be for another somebody to be able to limit access to the showers. How many times you can go if you're paid? Is it included? Do you pay extra? Whatever, and then that can be used by QR codes or NFC tags or whatever. It's kind of pin codes or many possibilities.
And Ásgeir, you have a background in computer science, so you are familiar with this technology. But your employees, are they willing to use this new tool? Did you encounter any resistance from your team?
I wouldn't say resistance, but it's hard to teach an old dog how to sit. And people are stuck with their old methods a little bit. So it is sometimes easier to get a new staff member to implement it in the new solution, because it's not that they are not willing to go there, but they're just used to doing it manually or a different way. So I wouldn't say we encountered many obstacles in it, but there are some rather than others of the staff that needed more encouragement of changing their habits or how they did their work. I think people very soon see how much it saves in time and takes out the human errors a little bit.
And I think it's also a challenge for Brynjar to build a tool that is easy to use.
Yes, and I definitely got some feedback about what could be simplified in the interface. So I'm also learning from them, like how they are using my tool and what can be improved.
But it also helps Brynjar also that he used to do this manual writing of tickets and all those things. So he knows how it kind of works. So that's also really good asset for him to have the experience of how things actually work at the campsite and what needs to be considered. Of course, we made for him of different things that needs to be, or the staff have given feedback on, this is better if you do it in tap order in a different way or whatever, because it would save us time if you do it this way. So, and that's good when you're developing, that you have the accessibility to the developer in that sense, that he can get the feedback from the users. So it's some kind of a guinea pigs for him. So we are learning from it, all of us.
And if another campsite wants to implement Reisa, how long can it take before we see the first results of improvement or time saving?
I think it should be immediate. So there should not be a big learning curve. You can just start using it. And I think you will already feel the benefits.
That's great. So everyone that is listening to us may write to you just after the episode, Brynjar, to have a sneak peek of what you can do.
But of course, people might be used to their old ways, like Ásgeir says. So it might take some time to get used to the new tool.
But now we know that you can digitalize almost everything and automate many different processes that were done manually before.
And I think also people are opening their eyes more for it and are more open to using the technology.
But what I like with the Review project is that it's customized, because often we try to plug a tool that is already on the market but is not linked with our PMS or channel manager or so on, and it gets complicated to link everything. But what you're building is really powerful to have a tool that is really tailor-made for our business.
Yeah, and I think it can easily suit or fit others, especially Icelandic campsite at the moment, and to build on. I haven't seen the running of a campsite in Europe, but it must be similar things. Tourists looking for similar things. And the system he has building is flexible in that way that it can be made to fit, I think, most things I can think of at least.
And for example, when we book directly on your website, the booking is going to your CRM. Where is it going?
It's going into the back end of Reisa, kind of. And he is building also a POS system. All the accounting is going through that. And then we have looked into getting it connected to the accounting system, but they are, of course, very different technologies. So it's possible to build the solution, but at the moment we are not doing that connection yet, at least. So we decided to do it the way that we have the full-blown POS system at site. So all transaction can be looked at from one side. And then there is a daily closure of each POS, whether it's the web sales POS or the on-site POS. So that's brought to the ERP system, bookkeeping system, and it's put in manually at this moment into the ERP system. But that's also a possibility to build, because most of these ERP systems, they have APIs that can't be applied, and it's just a question of time and money, basically.
That's right. Let's not forget the money boards. Do you have anything else you would like to share?
For my part, it's just been interesting to learn and see the development, and with the toolkit, how we can see that what others are doing and get to know other possibilities, and also kind of open my eyes a little bit to the community that you can kind of dig into to get information about AI or whatever you would like to do or think. So yeah, it has just opened my eyes to a broader view, kind of not only the Icelandic market, but also there are similar things going on in Europe or anywhere in the world, probably, that you can learn from.
Yes, exactly. Maybe in the future you would like to add a chat bot or maybe a voice bot that answers the phone all day long in every language is possible. We can have someone writing emails on your behalf. Many projects are ongoing.
Yeah, for sure. And as I say, also the information that you can find online and the Toolbit community, that's just one angle to look into to get all the information on one side. So that has been helpful, I would say.
Thank you. Thank you for promoting what we're doing at Turbit. And you, Brynjar, do you have anything else you would like to share, maybe from your service provider point of view?
I would just say it's a very interesting problem space, and that I have learned a lot from working with Hamrar. And yeah, it's very fun to see what opportunities they have.
Yeah, and I think you will always have some work in this industry. So I will advise you to build on Reisa and let us know when it's going to be the next booking platform we can go on to.
Yeah, I hope it continues to grow.
Where we can have more information about your companies. Ásgeir, can you tell us more?
Our website is Hamrar.is, and there we have all the information. That's hopefully our next journey will be rebuilding the website. And then we are also at Hamrar Camping on Facebook and Instagram. But that's also a thing that we need to work on to the future to get better handle of websites and social media and all those things. If you look for Hamrar Camping or Camping in the North, we are one of the few that are campsites that are open all year round. So there are not many, and we are probably the biggest camp in Iceland, in fact. So
Okay, and when we book through your platform, we can see what Brynjar has worked on because the small window is exactly what you are working on right now. And you, Brynjar, how can we maybe know more about Reisa and your business?
Yeah, so you can already see on reisa.is. And I think by the time you release this episode, it will be even more complete.
Okay, that was a very insightful conversation and quite a different approach. What did you make of that, Marie?
What we can understand from that is that you have to go one step at a time. You don't have to rush and want to change everything. The importance is to know your pain point and from that to build the solutions that fit your need. Don't try to change everything and digitalize everything, just focus to the main challenges you want to solve and then go step after another step and you will see the change on your business. But please be patient.
So, baby steps. That's certainly good advice that we can all learn from. And we will now have a listen to the 5 key takeaways from this week's episode. This discussion was a great example of how digitalization can make administrative tasks less burdensome. If we're smart in how we implement and integrate technology, we can certainly see the results at a business level. Our guests today have shown how advantageous it can be to automate time-consuming tasks, transitioning from traditional processes to fully automated digital systems. So here's our 5 key takeaways from today's episode. Number 1, start by identifying pain points and areas for improvement. Both guests' first-hand experience in the field is what has been key to enabling them to make a successful shift from traditional processes towards digital ones, implementing a comprehensive online booking and management system in doing so. Number 2, implement change step by step. Today, we heard how this started with automating access through automatic number plate recognition and how this has helped to solve the problem of queuing times and at the same time improving the guest experience, addressing a major pain point that was evident within the business. It shows how tackling one change at a time is an effective strategy to minimizing mistakes, but also to learning in the process of doing. It requires us to be human-centered and curious as to how technology can be an enabler. Number 3, improvements really can be made through digitalization. The new system helped to reduce human error, which ensured that the business could be altogether more performant and productive. It also helped to speed up the check-in process and therefore was a win-win in reducing the laborious administrative tasks, which are often error-prone, but also in creating a smarter experience for customers, which is key to competitiveness. Number 4, sometimes off-the-shelf solutions just don't cut it. If existing market solutions don't meet your needs, well, why not consider developing a tailor-made solution? This can seem scary, but much of the historically costly and difficult to develop digital experiences, which once required deep pockets and lots of time, can now be developed quickly, with no-code development, even something that large enterprises are actively embracing. Identify the right technical partners who can help you to build your own ecosystem and take a modularized approach, solving one problem at a time, but being sure to integrate and automate the connections between them. And number 5, scalability and automation. Don't forget to think long-term. Adopting adaptable technology within your business operations is crucial as it allows for the integration of additional features in the future, further simplifying operations and, of course, boosting efficiency. If you can take it one step further with automation, something which today is highly accessible even with minimal technical knowledge, this will get you future ready and certainly help you to build a smart business. What a result! That brings us to the end of episode 11, and I have to say what I love about all of the businesses we've met so far is just the huge range of innovation, from deep technology integration at an operational level, as we've heard today, to the smart application of guest data. Let us know what stood out for you so far, and be sure to join us next time. You've been listening to Tour Tech. That's a wrap for another week. If you liked today's episode, be sure to leave a review and share amongst your networks across social. These 2 small actions make a really big difference. We appreciate the time you take to listen and, of course, to share. Make sure you don't miss future episodes. New episodes are released every Monday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all major podcasting platforms. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and get your podcasts every week in your inbox. Torbit is a partnership co-funded by the European Commission's COSME program for small and medium-sized enterprises, and it's led by an incredible team of partners who are all as passionate about what they do as the businesses they're supporting. This includes the Catalan Tourist Board, Barcelona Chamber of Commerce, Paris & Co., Tourism 4.0 in Slovenia, Hub Brussels, Iceland's tourism cluster, the Lapland University of Applied Sciences, and NEST, the Tourism Innovation Centre in Portugal. On behalf of these incredible partners at Torbit and the European Commission, and of course here at the Digital Tourism Think Tank, thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you next week.